managed to get an extra long sleep yesterday. We actually, well, coach reckoned I looked pretty full last night when I sent my photos. And then he sent me my food and stuff for today for my first meal. And then this morning, woke up all-time low. So 500 grams above my old stage weight. Definitely leaner, so I definitely have put on some solid muscle mass. Probably, yeah, a good half a kilo of muscle in between shows, so I am super happy with that. But we definitely need to fill out today, so we'll see what coach says. I don't know what happened when I slept overnight, but I guess this always happens with my crazy body. But this is the first meal. So for our first meal, we'll be having some cereal. I have some gluten-free Cocoa Pops, ABC spread, and just a tiny bit of chicken for my first meal. So we checked in with coach and he was so happy with how I'm looking this morning. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with how I'm looking this morning as well, considering my weight. I thought I'll be looking like kind of flat and depleted, but honestly, we're looking pretty good. One meal down and I've started to fill out already. So yeah, I'm feeling excited and I can't wait to see how my body progressed during the day. But I woke up just so happy with what my package is, and I know I'm just gonna slowly fill out through the day, dry out even more, and just absolutely bring my best today. And I'm so excited for that. Meal number 2, we're having 4 rice cakes. It's another one under, just like 10 grams of ABC spread, a little bit of salt, and I put some cinnamon on there as well. So no protein for this meal, just some carbs and a little bit of fat. My makeup is all done and I'm all tanned up and dark. I hope I am not too dark. But yeah, after this we'll put the bikini on, take some last minute photos, and then head to the venue, and then I'll probably chill there until showtime. About an hour and a half out from showtime. Walking to the venue. It's literally a 5-minute walk, so we get to walk there.
Taking shots at the enemy, I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take a new song. And you cannot save me, cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough
And the winner going to the Mr. Olympia.
I got a crown, 2 medals, and prize money. I'm super happy. Got some feedback as well. I will share it with you guys. I'm happy with my feedback. I'm happy with my package. I'm ready to go eat. I got lots of goodies. So I got some homemade cookies and more homemade cookies. Ooh. So 2 homemade cookies. And Myra also got something for me. I'm not sure what it is, but I will be opening it later. So thank you guys so much who have brought me food. I always ask what I want post-show. This is literally all I want to do. I'm going to scull this whole thing.
She didn't scull it. She's lying.
The Roti Prata house. First one is the original plain one. Chicken curry. Crispy, thin. Fishy prata. Try some, baby, it's so good. Look at that. Oh my god. Wow. Wow. So good. Egg and onion.
What do you want to eat tomorrow for breakfast?
We just go toast box.
Black and black. But this one has chicken.
I got given so many goodies. Oh my god, this will be dessert for tonight. How beautiful is my tiara? It is now the 15th of August and I am a week post-comp. Don't worry, we have all the post-comp vlogs coming, but I just wanted to film a quick little recap and reflection of the whole show now that I am back and I've had a week to process everything, get feedback and whatnot. Firstly, I am so happy and honored and just proud of myself for what I've brought. I had so much fun at the show. We got taken care of so well. I'm so grateful for all the organizers and all the judges and all the competitors. I just had the best time. This was the best vibes and the best I've ever felt on show day with all the other competitors. Yeah, overall, it was just a great experience. Every single competitor was absolutely amazing and I just have so much respect for everyone and all the packages that they brought, and I was just so proud to stand up there with and amongst all the best Asian athletes like in the world. Like, we're all pros and we're all Asian from 10 different countries, and you know, it's not easy for us, just culture-wise, family-wise. Like, food is a big thing when it comes to Asian families and all the sacrifice, and we all had to fly in. Obviously there was only one girl who was originally from Singapore, but the rest of us had to fly, and we all had to fly in, and we worked hard and really sacrificed a lot for this show. So firstly, I just want to say that, like, I just absolutely loved every moment of show day, check-in day, and being on stage with those girls. And it was all captured on camera, the very genuine moment where we all stepped off stage, obviously apart from Karen because she was on stage because she won, and all of us who obviously didn't win had a nice little group hug, and we were congratulating each other, and it was just such a good time. And it's something that I will remember forever, and it was the best I felt on stage. I walked on stage feeling so calm, so at peace, and so confident, because I knew that I just gave my absolute everything this prep, and I was so happy with what I brought. These are the photos I took on show day morning over here. I was just so proud of it. Obviously, it's the best I've ever looked. It's the leanest I've ever been. And I managed to put on probably a good ½ kilo of muscle within this time. And I'm so proud of myself, you know. And my posing, I feel like I've posed the best ever, because I just felt that nothing could get me down. You know, I'm like, no matter what, I'm here because I deserve to be here. I've earned my spot. I've given this prep absolutely everything that I've got. Yeah, I had a moment where before stage, I just wanted God to be there with me, to walk on stage with me, and I knew He was there with me, and I said that it would be up to Him, you know, whatever happened, and whether it be my time or not. At the end of the day, for me, I'm so happy to have placed. You know, it's still the first time I've ever placed as a pro, and in placing, I got a beautiful crown, I got a medal, I got $500 USD, and all of us got heaps of freebies from all the sponsors, and we were just really spoiled, and we just felt so special. So thank you so much to all the organizers, the sponsors, and James, and any one of my other competitors who are watching this video. It was just my absolute pleasure to share the stage with you. Obviously, like, I expect so much from myself, so I obviously wanted to have placed better, but at the same time, if I won, I would be going to Olympia, and I wanted to know that if I did go to Olympia, that I would be worthy, I would be ready, and I'd want to do well. I don't want to go to Olympia and not feel worthy. So it didn't change the fact that if I didn't come first, that I would be going back home and trying to bring my absolute best for next year's Olympia. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, didn't really matter. You know, I either wanted to win or I wanted to place. Thank God that I did place. I'm very grateful for that. Obviously, I still wish I would have placed higher, but at the end of the day, a placing is still a placing. It's still my first placing as a pro, and I'm very proud to take home 6, because there's a lot of girls who obviously didn't place or placed below me who looked absolutely amazing as well. There's a lot of pros that have so much potential as well, and you know, it's obviously sometimes placings can be disappointing, but at the end of the day, like, we all brought our best, we all looked our best. The lighting probably didn't do all of us as much justice, but like, everyone looked on point and amazing. I got so much love, so much support. The best part of it all was after the show, I had so many people come up to me who knew me, watched my videos, or people who did not know me at all, who just watched me and truly watched me when I was on stage. And that's how I felt when I was on stage. I felt that, like, you know, I knew people were watching me on live stream, and I could feel that, you know, there was people in the audience, like, watching me, like, really watching me. And I always get really shocked when, like, people tell me, like, oh, you know, like, I watched you. I'm like, you really did watch me? Like, I just always felt like people who go to the shows just probably watched and paid attention only to, like, their friends or someone they knew. But it always brings me so much joy when someone who absolutely has no idea who I am just found me on stage, and they're like, I saw you and you were great, and, like, you know, you were my pick to win, or I thought you should have placed higher, or I want to look like you one day, or you're so inspiring, or I love your posing. And I just got so much love, just so much love. You guys made this experience, like, I get emotional thinking about it, because, like, that was all I've ever wanted, and, like, the best moment ever. Like, I truly just felt like a professional athlete, and it's crazy. I've been a pro for 2 years now, but this whole experience has just made me feel even more like a pro, feel even more worthy to call myself a pro, feel even more proud to call myself a pro and feel so blessed to live this life to be a pro. It means so much to me. Like I can't even describe in words that, like, you know, winning my pro card was just my entry ticket to this life that I'm now living, and I'm so grateful for it, and I can't wait to come back even better. And the cherry on top is, you know, even though I didn't win and even though I didn't place higher, the reasons for that, so like the feedback that I got, I was so stoked with. So I stepped off stage assuming that the reason why I didn't place higher was because I was too small. So that was always been my feedback. So this year, obviously, well, when I won my pro card, first of all, now let's go back to when I competed last in Singapore as an amateur. When I competed last in Singapore as an amateur, my feedback was to grow my legs. My legs were a little bit too small. I had to grow my legs a little bit more. My feedback after Vietnam was that I was great, and it was just bad luck that day. The girl who beat me was just better, and to keep trying, you know. So I took that on board, and I competed again probably 6 months after that. And I went to the Arnold Classic, and that's when I won my pro card, and my feedback was, you're great, just grow everywhere. You know, just they wanted me to make sure that I add size equally everywhere in order to be competitive in the pro circuit. And then came my pro debut. I didn't get the best feedback for my pro debut because they didn't really give me much direction, but they basically said I was a little bit too short, and perhaps because I was too short that I needed to add more frame to my size in order to stand with the taller girls. So obviously took that on board, but I didn't really have much time in between. Tried to fill out a little bit more, went to Orlando. Sandy wanted me a little bit more fuller in my upper body. Obviously, again, I took that on board, and I agreed. You know, I always knew that my shoulders were my weaknesses and I needed to work on that. I really carved up and pumped up a lot for the Pittsburgh Pro, which is only a week after, and I managed to make my shoulders look a little bit fuller. Obviously, it was not real quality muscle because you can't really gain that much muscle in a week, but I was a little bit fuller through my upper body. The feedback I got from Tyler Mannion was to grow everywhere. They're like, you know, everything about you is great, conditioning, your proportions, flow and everything, you just need to be bigger everywhere. And obviously at the 2 US shows, I didn't get a placing at all because they only placed top 15. So I didn't place at all. Pretty much like last call outs for the 2 US shows. But I took all the advice on board, and I had 16 weeks to make improvements and to bring something better, which is not a lot of time at all. People probably think I'm crazy. It is like a really uncomfortable amount of time between shows because it's not long enough to have a proper off season, and it's a little bit too long for a prep. So I did my best to sort of do a little bit of like a maintenance, reverse, lean build phase, and then after that cut back down a little bit. So tried something new, trained really hard, trained my heart out, and for once took my focus away from conditioning, away from the scales, and just put it on to training. I wanted nothing more than to grow, and I wanted nothing more than to put on size. So here comes my feedback for the Singapore show. So Tarek, who's also an Olympian judge, and I'm just so grateful again to have stood in front of 3 Olympian judges this year and get all the feedback that I can get. Obviously the first 2 Olympian judges wanted me bigger, and Tarek actually said one of the reasons why I didn't place higher was because my shoulders and my quads were a little bit too overpowering. And you know, as much as that sucks, because obviously, like, you know, I want to place higher, this feedback fuels my fire so much. It makes me so happy, so proud. Yes, I pushed it a little bit too far with the shoulders and stuff like that, but that was what I was going for this whole prep. And anyone who's followed me, you know that like my shoulders is my weakness, and I train so hard, and I've tried so hard. And all that shows me is that my hard work has paid off. Probably went a little bit too crazy with the pump up. So backstage, I was pumping up my shoulders like a crazy person. I didn't really pump up anything else apart from my shoulders. I was just really pumping my shoulders up. Most of the other bikini girls were doing some like glute kickbacks and stuff like that, just pumping up everything. But I was just going for it with the shoulders. I really filled out that day as well. I didn't eat too much carbs on show day actually, but I had a whole week of filling out just to come in as full as possible. So if I needed to make slight tweaks next time, especially, it depends on the lineup as well, especially in this lineup, my shoulders was just like kind of popping a little bit too much in this lineup compared to everyone else. So it kind of ruined my flow as compared to everyone else. And that's the thing with bodybuilding and being a pro, because everyone's so good. It really depends on who you stand next to, and it can change the way you look in comparison to them, because a lot of us can look great standing alone, and only until we're in a lineup of people that things start to look a little bit out of place. So yeah, so the first thing was that like my shoulders were a little bit too dominant, too overpowering. So I have some ideas on how I can work on that, and little things I can tweak as well. Tarek did advise some posing tweaks I could do to tone down certain things, and also they said my quads were too overpowering, especially from the back. So I personally think I can bring up a bunch of other areas in my body to balance everything out. So now it's all about tweaking, refining, getting the balance, getting the flow. So there are other areas that I can still train hard and still work on in order to balance everything out. So even though they're overpowering, they didn't say they're like too big, you know, so I'm not going to try and downsize at all. If anything, I'm going to try and grow other areas of my body to create a much more better balance and flow. I'm going to tweak my posing a little bit, and then we can always tweak the peak week and tweak the pump up and tweak the carb up. So obviously, again, like I showed you my morning check-in photos, like I did drop a half a kilo overnight, but I was still quite full. Certain areas I was lean. So if anything, next time, if they want me like a little bit more streamlined and not too full, and especially not too full in the shoulders, I can always carb up a little bit less, you know. It's not a big deal at all. It's just, we're all just learning and trying to bring the best package that the judges want. You know, it's not always about what I feel looks best or what my coach feels look best, what Jeremy feels look best, what the audience feels look best. It's about the judge and what the judge wants. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to bring what the judges want of me. And so, like I said, if they really do want me to not have my shoulders pop so much, I'll just carb up a little bit less and I'll just pump up a little bit less, because I did really push it on the carb up and the pump up. Honestly, I loved how I look. I loved how my shoulders pop. I just love that round, bubbly look. I love it. I had the best time training quads like this past 16 weeks. I usually have backed off the quads quite a bit, but Tarek did give me some tips on, again, I just can do some posing tweaks to just make sure that quads are not too overpowering. And also I got a little bit of extra feedback from James as well, that I can bring up perhaps like just even bring up the glutes and hamstrings a little bit more, and then the quads won't be too overpowering. So it's all about things like that, and I'm really happy to go back and work on this. I love training, and as long as I don't have to downsize any areas, which personally I don't feel like I do, because I want to go back to the US and I want to be Olympia worthy and ready, and they all have a good amount of size. So I will be working on maintaining the quads and the shoulders. I'm still training hard. I probably won't be training shoulders as often perhaps, and then dedicate one of the extra days to maybe a little bit more arms, a little bit more back, a little bit more chest, balance everything out. And again, like I said, I love training. I love training like a bodybuilder. So I absolutely would love to have a nice bro split of just like going in training arms, or like even a day where I just like train chest instead of rest, you know, because sometimes I don't like to rest. I'm like gonna go in, do a little bit of chest and stuff like that, just to, again, like I said, balance everything else. So I do have a game plan, and this is the first time I'm not told that I'm too small. And that makes me so emotional when talking about it, because my whole life, my whole career, I've always been too small, and I love this feedback. It just shows me that I'm going in the right direction, and that I am preparing myself to be ready to go back to the US, and to be ready to show Tyler that I have grown in all the areas that he wants me to show Sandy that I have filled out in my upper body. And I really took on all the feedback that they've given me. I went back to work on it, and I'm coming back to the US to prove myself, to make my mark, to place better, to just finally make it like in the first call out, second call outs, just some kind of a call out in the US, and qualify for Olympia. Like that is still the goal. The goal has not changed. I won't be going to Olympia this year, but I will be going to Olympia next year. And that's the goal, that's the plan. I will be pushing towards that and putting that out into the universe. And I will be doing whatever it takes and doing all the work required. And again, taking all the feedback on board and working on all of that. All of this just makes me feel like my goal is so much closer. Again, yes, I didn't win, but I feel so much closer after this show, so much closer after this placing, and so much closer after this feedback. Because honestly, after the US shows, I felt a little bit far away from where I needed to be. I honestly felt that like, it's gonna take me years and I don't know how much more muscle I need to add on. Like, honestly, I said to coach, I'm like, maybe I need to be 3 kilos heavier stage weight. Right now, I'm about 500 grams up, so a pound up from my old stage weight of like proper muscle. I am a bit leaner, so I probably put on maybe like, I would say 600 to 700 grams of muscle, hopefully. So if that's the case, then maybe I'm not as far as I need to be. So I'm gonna slowly work on growing. I think my main thing is I need to continue staying lean, because I do lose a lot of muscle when I get when I have to cut very hard, and my body's so stubborn to get lean. So the key for me is to maintain a good amount of body fat, don't put on too much body fat, and slowly grow, because I'm gonna have a long off season now. I won't be competing until after my wedding, and my wedding will be in June next year. So I'm hoping to compete around end of July, August, September would be the season that I'm aiming for next year. And that just seems so far away. Like, honestly, I miss it so much already. I know I need this break mentally, physically, and I got a lot of things to do. I want to travel whilst not prepping, be able to do that freely. I do have a bunch of trips coming up for work and for, you know, pleasure as well. So I want the freedom of being able to fly and not worry about prep and stuff like that. I want to work on the businesses. I want to have more time to spend with my friends, my family, and I did a lot of that in Singapore, and I'm very grateful for that. You know, I was able to see family like every single day, catch up with them, yeah, just enjoy myself a little bit. But I'm so glad to be back in Perth now, being able to get back to work on my goals and start on like my reverse and catch up with my friends here. I haven't really seen any of my friends here yet. I was able to enjoy a beautiful dinner with my parents here before now they've left on a short holiday. So hopefully when they get back, I'll be able to spend a little bit more time with them. You know, our house is building at the moment, so we're gonna move into our new beautiful house, and there's so much to look forward to. And I hope to share a lot of it with you guys. But I just want you guys to know that I'm not satisfied. I am also a little bit disappointed, but also I am so happy, so proud, so filled, and so motivated now. And I feel so much closer to my goal, and I'm really thankful and grateful for everything. And I've had the best time, like just leading up to this, like every single training session I truly enjoyed and gave my heart and soul. And that's why on stage, I felt my best on stage. I was just so calm and happy, and I felt so, like I really felt God's presence with me, which was what I really asked for and I wanted. And yeah, I just felt so good on stage this time, and like it was great. Yeah, thank you guys for following along my crazy journey. I hope you guys enjoyed this show day vlog. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one.